Bill Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
It's the Bill Melt Show.
Meanwhile, in Ohio today, voters will decide whether to legalize marijuana in that state. It's a ballot measure gaining national attention for the well-known names who could cash in if it passes. Today's Erica Hill is in Hudson, Ohio with more on that. Erica, good morning to you.
Matt, good morning. If this measure known as Issue 3 passes, Ohio would become the 5th state to legalize marijuana. And that makes the 29 acres of land just behind me a potentially lucrative place for growing pot. Land one Ohio native has expressed interest in buying. And this morning, that has him doing his very best to convince voters to say yes.
I'm Nick Lachey. Ohio is my home.
The former reality TV and boy band star is hoping to cash in on that connection with voters in a campaign that has him singing the praises of legalized marijuana.
Proud to be a part of a movement that's going to create jobs, reinvigorate our economy, and improve the safety of our communities.
Lachey, along with fashion designer Nanette Lepore and NBA great Oscar Robertson, is part of a small group of wealthy investors backing Responsible Ohio, which claims legalizing pot would create 30,000 jobs in the state and spur a billion-dollar market. The catch? The constitutional amendment would give exclusive rights to all of the marijuana grown and sold at 1,100 stores in the Buckeye State to just 10 groups. One is Lachey's.
It's a good deal for Nick Lachey and his rich cronies who would have control over this marijuana monopoly, but it's a bad deal for Ohio.
That concern sparked the addition of another ballot measure, Issue 2, which would prevent any constitutional amendment from creating a monopoly. If both pass, there could be a conflict. Most polling shows voters are split on the issue of legalization.
And I care very deeply about the people here.
With well-funded proponents like Lachey's group doing their best to frame this as a business decision, one that could make them very, very rich.
Those rich folks are investing a lot of money to not only change the system, create lots of jobs, 30,000 jobs, and generate $554 million a year.
Nick Lachey declined our request for an on-camera interview. Now, the city of Hudson, Ohio, where we are this morning, did confirm to NBC News that this land is in fact zoned for agricultural use. We reached out to the developer. They didn't return our call, but Responsible Ohio, that group of investors who are backing this ballot measure, did confirm it's looking to invest in this land if in fact it passes, and that would make this site one of those 10 sites throughout the state with exclusive commercial growing rights. One other interesting note, Matt, Nick Lachey, who did grow up in Ohio and is pushing this measure, did reveal in a recent interview he won't be voting today, and that's because he's still registered in California.
All right, we're going to be following this vote as it unfolds today. Erica, thank you very much.
Breaking news right now regarding the much-anticipated vote on marijuana in Ohio.
The plot thickens tonight. Let's check in with Bill Scheel, who's been covering Issue 2 and 3 for everybody here. So, Bill, what is going on here?
Well, Bill and Tracy, just a moment ago, Responsible Ohio, the group that is pushing Issue 3, that's the issue to legalize marijuana, confirmed to Fox 8 that its attorneys are asking for a 2-hour voting extension in Hamilton County. That's in the Cincinnati area. A spokesperson for Responsible Ohio said there's nothing malicious here, but that there had been some technical issues with voting equipment in Hamilton County, and they want the vote extended by another 2 hours in the Cincinnati area. He indicated that the lawyers are meeting right now with the judge. So he said no decision has been made, so we don't know if a judge will grant this or not. But again, the breaking news, Bill and Tracy, Responsible Ohio wants voting hours extended by 2 hours in Hamilton County because of some glitches with equipment there. Stay tuned to Fox 8 for the latest on this and, of course, the latest on the results tonight, which might be delayed if a judge were to grant their request.
And what's the likelihood that they would get this extension?
Well, that's a great question. My sense is that the more equipment that's affected and the more it prevented voting. Remember, judges are very big on people getting the chance to vote. If it's a small technical issue in a small place, the more widespread it is, probably the greater the chance that it would be granted.
What does a glitch mean? And that's what we're going to have to find out, I guess.
Right. Were voters turned away? Could voters not want when they wanted to? Remember, years ago in Cleveland, we used to have these problems here. How widespread is it? Courts take that into account when they make these decisions. You may remember several years ago, a federal judge here did extend voting hours a little because of some glitches in Cuyahoga County. So we will wait and see what the courts do tonight.
Keeping an eye on Hamilton County. All right, Bill, thank you.
Are you high? What are you talking
It's the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Welcome to the Full Melt Show. With eager anticipation, I approach this microphone today. Bated breath, I tell you. I have been waiting for this for a little while now. Have you? Does it matter to you? Suffice it to say, it probably should. The question is legalization of medical marijuana and retail cannabis in the state of Ohio. The political saying goes, so goes Ohio, so goes the rest of the nation. Let's see what happens here. Are we really rolling the dice there in Ohio? I mean, my good friend Russ Belville, on the other side of the nation, has an opposing position to this, as do a number of, because my position is no on issue 3. That's my position. I don't live in Ohio. I have to say that. I'm clearly a Michigan resident. And we have medical marijuana here. It's really easy for me to say that, isn't it? We have medical marijuana here. It's the Swiss cheesiest version of medical marijuana, but it is a form of access. So for me to stand here and opine from my soapbox and tell you Ohioans to vote no on issue 3 sounds like it's coming from a place where you don't know what you're talking about, Green. I pretty much do. Yes, I don't have to suffer the consequence of this, but I would have, if this happened in Michigan in 2008, I would have voted the same way. I don't like people screwing with the American political system. I don't like it. And let's, all right, I have to step back here for a second. I have to step back and just kind of remind people about some definitions here. Because what you're proposing there in Ohio with issue 3 is feeding the fascists. And I hate that term fascist. It sounds so radical. I'm really not a radical person. A lot of people think I am. I'm really not. I'm conservative in many, many ways. And one of the ways I'm conservative is with our Constitution and the Constitution of our states. When you start meddling with the foundation and principles of your government, and I'm not talking about repealing prohibition. That's not what's going on in Ohio. It's not at all. People will still go to jail under Proposition 3 in Ohio. In fact, I would suggest that the police are staging right now, if they pass this initiative and you get it done, they're staging right now a plan in which to profit from this process. You can bet your last dollar they're doing that. And this is exactly what Michigan did. See, I'm speaking from a place of wisdom, not from a place of empty space. I don't talk out of my ass here on this show. It would be irresponsible for me to do that. I talk from a place of knowledge because I immerse myself in it. And you can disagree with me. I openly challenge you to do so, not because I think that I want to fight with you or argue with you. You can be opposed and still have a great conversation and understand each other's point of view. That's the definition of argument. People think argument and fighting are synonymous. They're not. Argument is a form of learning. People use it, they misuse it, because it's easy to say argue instead of fight. It sounds like it's less of an actual battle, but it's still the same thing. You're neither one wanting to hear each other's position. You just want to spout your own. That's a fight. You're trying to get somebody else to swallow your version of things. That's a fight. I'm not talking about fighting about this, because that's already happening. That happens by itself. I'm talking about having a conversation about an opposed point of view. If you think that Ohio should legalize this way, and you're adamant about it, phone me now. It's toll-free number nationwide, 844-420-TALK. 844-420-8255. And the reason I'm inviting you in on this conversation is because this matters to you. This could change the way other states decide to do this issue. And it's not coming from a legislative standpoint. It's not coming from a representative standpoint. This is coming from big money politics with gerrymandered districts trying to get stuff done the way they want it done. So let me tell you what the definition of fascism is, because it's really in a more relatable way. Fascism is the marrying or the uniting of government and big business. That's what it is. And it's not so much a marriage as it is a hostile takeover. So you've got big business, wealthy organizations with a lot of power, because with money comes power, right? And if you're going to effect your power and utilize it in the most efficient way, the best way to do that is to use that power to battle the government or to persuade the government to do things your way and not the way that the representation wants it done. Because in order to win in politics, at least in this country, and the Supreme Court sealed it in, you got to have money and a lot of it. And if you expect to get it, you're not getting it from individual donors, are you? Not as a senator, not as a House, Republican or Democrat. You can't do this and expect to get elected without making favors with big money people. So you've got in this country already a system that is being collapsed by big government. So you have a fascist system. It's really a corporate United States. It's no longer a we the people. I mean, the Constitution starts out we the people for a reason. It's not we the corporations. It's not we the big groups. It's not we the wealthy. It's we the people. And so this is why I'm opposed to Proposition 3 in Ohio. Because when you start naming who gets to enjoy the rights of business, and you only name it because they had the money to get on that list, you've taken the United States of America down a few notches from its austerity, from its history, from its foundation, from what the forefathers intended for this country, and you've allowed the oligarchies to take over. I mean, that's what happened in communist Russia. And then when Russia broke up, when they had financial troubles, they weren't solving anymore. They dissolved. And they got rid of the USSR, as it was known. And then the oligarchies took over the country, and they have the same problem in Russia. You want to live like that? Go to Russia. Don't do it in Ohio. More on this election next.
You're getting the full melt.
What's up with these things, Victor?
We decided to give ourselves stickers for each feature we release. We read about 10,000 suggestions a week to create features that, as traders, we'd want to use.
10,000 suggestions? Who reads all of those?
He does.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade, you got this.
It's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience, bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Door Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570.
Don't miss the first ever cannabis competition this year as the prize contest moved from Amsterdam to Jamaica. That's right, it's all Jamaican fun now with the Big Cup competition in Negril this November. Get your best travel accommodations now at JamaicaPot.com. Pack your beach bong and swimsuit and party down at the warm sandy beaches of Negril, Jamaica for the first ever big cannabis event this year. Do it in style or come have fun on a budget. Best travel prices now at JamaicaPot.com. That's JamaicaPot.com.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Black ocean, cold and dark. I am the hungry shark, fast and merciless.
Well, you can hear the Full Melt Show Monday through Friday from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Went on the air a little bit late today, hoping that we could stay on long enough to get some election results back from the state of Ohio. You know, this is bugging me. I've actually got the phone plugged. All of the plugs here in the studio are taken up by these stupid phone lines. I switched to the voice over IP from AT&T. I got to have a stupid plug for each phone, like a power plug. So this new iPhone that I've got, this iPhone 6S Plus, which I love, incidentally. God knows what a pain of a price I paid to get this phone. But once I got it, now I got to plug it into a stupid, you know those car chargers? So one of those things that you put on your car to start the car if you run out of juice. There's a little jump kit, a little battery with some cables on it. I got one of those. It's got a USB kit. That's what I'm plugged into. Because there's no place to plug the phone in the studio. It's just 4% battery left on the stupid phone, and there you go. So election coverage in Ohio is important from the standpoint. Like I said, so goes Ohio, so goes the rest of the nation. That's what the saying is, isn't it? I think it relates to the presidential election. But it is an indicator. What's that? What's going on there? There goes again. Stop that. Okay, I'm going to cut that out right now. There's something going on with that. I don't know. That can go down, and that can go down. No more disruptions. So, where was I at? See, I got all Twitter-pated with